Today I'm joined with Michaela from WithM. Hi Michaela, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Could you tell us a bit more about yourself and your company with M?
Okay, so 3 years ago, I decided to take the leap into the world of being self-employed. I had reached a certain level within organizations that I'd worked in that wasn't allowing me to affect the kind of change that I thought might be appropriate, but I wanted to look after the people below me, and it was just a battle. And I thought, you know what, I need to get out of this and just explore if I can work for myself, create a business. So I came up with my first idea, having been a chef many, many years ago in professional restaurants and lovely places. I decided to go freelance as a private chef, which is work that I'd done as well. So in the 3 years since I did that, things have evolved and developed. And whilst I really enjoy the private chef work and I still do it, um, it can be a little bit solitary. And I really enjoy being with people in a party, feasting, dining, food and wine type of environment. But when you're in the kitchen, you don't get to see any of that. So, whilst it was successful and still is successful, I wanted to try and create opportunities that meant that I actually spent time with people that I was feeding, or I could do more of my private cooking lessons. So, I decided to focus more on creating a business and a brand that was about food and me rather than a service. So, yes, it's all about exploring the world of what's available up here, and everybody has to eat. So it's an interesting world to be in, and there's so many different opportunities. For me, focusing on one thing is very difficult, so I kind of broaden my services as much as I can.
I love how you've combined that as well together, how you've sort of taken that passion and then also how you prefer that sort of environment with like the interaction and stuff with people and sort of like dinner party type of environment. I like how you've like used those two and like combined it together and sort of like created a business and established that. Um so where did your love for cooking first start and what inspired you to sort of pursue a business around your passion for cooking?
That's a good question. And I hope my mother doesn't see this, but so when I was growing up, my father was in the military. He was great in the kitchen. He was really good with food and really interested in cooking. His mother had grown up in a pub. His stepfather was a butcher. So that had kind of stemmed through his childhood. And he was great. And I really enjoyed eating the food that he cooked. But because he was in the military, obviously he was away a lot. So that left my mother to the cooking. And if I say that there was once a pea and ham soup incident, if she does see this, that will make her laugh a lot because she made my sister and I sit for half an hour trying to eat this soup that she'd lovingly created and hadn't soaked the ham. So it was just like eating salt. So it was through an initial enjoyment of food and being interested in it. And we lived all over the world. So we were introduced in different cuisines, which was interesting to me as well. But as I got older, and by older, I only mean sort of 10, 11 years old, if I wanted to eat what I wanted to eat, I was going to have to learn how to cook it myself. So I did. And I cooked and I cooked and I carried on cooking. And, it was a real love. It was a real hobby and it was a fascination. I would pore over cookery books and just sit and read them. And I still do. Um, I was reasonably bright when I was at school. I was pretty bright, and I don't think my parents necessarily thought that going into the world of being a chef would fulfill my intellectual capabilities, let's say. But when you've got a love for something and when you were born to do it, you can't fight it. There's no point. I did for a long time. I went to university. I got a proper job after university, but after a year and a half, I thought I just can't do this. I got this itch I need to scratch, and I need to at least go and explore this world of what being a chef is like and see what works for me. So I did. I went to college. I worked in some interesting places, and then I ended up in a restaurant called the General Tarleton, which was at the time was owned by a chap called John Topham, who is my chef hero mentor, who I adore. And he taught me a lot, and it was great for a while, but unfortunately due to personal reasons, I couldn't stay for longer than a couple of years. So I moved out of the chef world and into a little bit more project management, events, charity work, which I still enjoyed. But when I got to the, as I said before, when I got to the middle senior management situation, I thought, no, now's the time to go and try and explore being self-employed. And what was the easiest thing that I knew that I could do? The easiest thing was to be a private chef. And I dabbled in that a little bit for friends who had their own businesses, and gone out and cooked for people and cooked for friends. And it's just great. I always love entertaining at home. I love dinner parties and supper parties and whatever. So doing that and being paid for it, that just sounded perfect because I'm doing what I love. So yeah, that's how I ended up here. And I'm so glad I did. Sometimes I think maybe I should have done it sooner, but the timing was right for me.
And what made you want to create WithM and why?
So my former business was called Fit Chef Harrogate. And that was a business that I wanted to be able to cook for people. I wanted to be a chef, but I didn't want to have to work the 80 hours a week that you so often did in professional restaurants. And I wanted to try and come up with an idea that would give me a life, but also offer a valuable service. And it is, and I still do that service for people. And the idea for that was in the world of, you know, some incredibly wealthy people, they have private chefs. So they employ a chef full-time to be their person who cooks for them wherever they are in the world. That's an expensive service to have, and not everybody can afford that. But so I thought some people might enjoy having someone come to their home 2 or 3 hours a week, fill up their fridge, help them with a particular diet if they're having to follow particular for health reasons or whatever. So I started to promote the idea of people being able to employ me by the hour to go in their home and help them. And the Fit Chef bit was, I am really, really passionate about people knowing that you can eat well, and it doesn't have to feel like you're depriving yourself or restricting yourself. You just have to know what to do with ingredients to make them taste really delicious. And you need to know more about spices and seasoning and flavors and everything. So I started off by literally posting these postcards through people's letterboxes with little handwritten notes on, and people started to get in touch. So that worked, but it wasn't fulfilling my need. This is all very selfish, by the way, so it's not about me and how I want to live my life. It wasn't fulfilling my need of being with people, because when I go to these people's homes and cook in their homes, in their kitchens, they're not there, they're at work. So it can get a bit lonely. So then I thought, well, if I expand on my private cooking lessons and bring people together doing an activity that they really enjoy, whether that's running or cycling or hill walking or, I don't know, relaxation retreats, yoga, Pilates, that sort of thing, but place equal importance on the activity and on the food, and offer some cooking demonstrations at the same time, surely I can bring people together and offer them a lovely holiday, immersing in their favorite activities, eating delicious foods, spending time with people who are like-minded and enjoy doing the same things. In Yorkshire as well, I live just on the edge of Nidderdale in the Yorkshire Dales. Then for me, I would love that. I would love that so much. So I thought perhaps I could inspire other people to be as interested as I am. It's difficult because apparently I'm told it's quite a unique proposition, but so starting from scratch is tough, but we're getting there. We are getting there.
And I love how you've sort of, you went out there and you sort of tried to, introduce yourself and what you're about to people. And, you tried one route of like cooking in their homes and stuff. And like you said, like some of them weren't there. And then you've obviously found like a new outlook on how to go about it. I think that's really great and stuff of how you've sort of combined it and, created this experience for people to enjoy and stuff. And what type of experiences do your service offer? And what could a potential client expect when going on one of your getaways?
Well, we're exploring what different activities and what different things people will engage with and would like to engage with. So there's the holidays, if you like. So we're doing a feasting and running holiday in June. There's feasting, art and gardening in July for people who maybe don't want to be quite as active but still enjoy being outdoors. And then we're doing a relaxation retreat in September. So they're the ones that we're focusing on at the moment to see what piques people's interest. They're the multi-stay ones, so they're the ones that are holidays where people get to stay in lovely accommodation in Yorkshire. And then there's the smaller events. So this weekend on Saturday, I'm doing a run and brunch with my fabulous running coach person, Hannah, who is based up in Littondale, and she founded the Upper Wharfdale Running Club. And I met her on Instagram. And she's done a running holiday for me in October, and we're planning the next one in June. So there's smaller experiences as well. And then the private cooking lessons are still ongoing. And then there's the opportunity for people to, I don't know if they've got celebrations or hen parties, stag parties, for me to create something bespoke for them. And also corporate organisations as well, who maybe want to do something a little bit different for team away days or management meetings. So there's a whole host of things, but the central thing is food all the time. So they can expect to know about the activity that they're getting involved with, or have meetings set up that they need to do, but the food is central to everything. So they can expect to be extremely well looked after, because customer service is very important to me. And after more than 10 years in the events world as well, I know how important that is. And to eat well and to learn more about the food that they eat, and learn more about cooking it for themselves. It's not rocket science, this cooking stuff. It just takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of maybe some chef tips. I have a lady who I do online cooking lessons with pretty much every month. And her main focus is she wants to learn all the tricks that chefs have in a professional kitchen, so that when she has people over for dinner, she can chill out and have a nice time, having done all the prep that she could have done beforehand, and do minimal in the evening when they're there. So yeah, if people are interested in food and like cooking for other people, or even just enjoying food for themselves, they should definitely come along and explore and experience it. And I'm about making memories. Time is our most precious commodity, and spending it well, doing things that you enjoy, if you can, is really important. So for me, it's about creating joyful experiences.
Yeah, definitely. Right, my final question is there anyone that you would like to collaborate with in the future?
Anyone who, has a skill or a business, or is a coach, a guide, anyone who is interested in coming along and has got the food fad, and like me, but obsessed with food and being outdoors is my two big things, who would like to come along and explore. And for me, it's really important to work with collaborators who have their group of people who they're already working with, so that we can promote things together. It's not something you can do just by yourself. You need to bring along your people, and let's see what can happen. So I'm always interested to hear from people. We've had everything from mountain biking to bridge. There's all sorts of opportunities. It's just your imagination that limits you, I think.
Thank you so much, Michaela. It's been so nice speaking to you and hearing more about WithM and what you do. I think it's really great. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.